morning, afternoon, evening, my little non-dance dance. That's me. This is not an instructional video. This is just something to watch if you feel inclined. This is just how I train. This was a day after I'd run yesterday. And it's how I kind of loosen up. So bouncing is just a really nice way to kind of decompress through the spine, and then you just do random movements. I did have music on, which I've obviously deleted, and the music just kind of gave me a rhythm to work to, but I could bounce anyway. And as I was doing this, one, it's great for my body because my calves get a little tight, so it's a dynamic tissue stretch. And as I was circling my arm, I could kind of feel which shoulder was a bit tighter, where I was at, what I might need to work on. So when I move like this, it's very much free flow and exploration of where I am right now in this moment. And then I always kind of think, well, where might I take myself? And I'm lucky, this is my job, so I know kind of lots of moves to do. So the more you do, the more you watch us random trainers doing this, then the more you can play with it yourself. So this was a big back round, back lift, letting the knees bend. So it was a lot of body coordination. And I don't normally video myself just wearing a sports bra like this. I did it because it's my way of getting my suntan, to be honest with you. It's only like 10 o'clock here, so not super hot sun, but it's just nice to get the sun really, really, really onto more of my skin. So big bounce up, bounce to the side, round, push out through the hands, the shoulder blades slide up. And I found from sitting a lot, my back, especially kind of between my ribs and my pelvis at the back, get a little tight and grumpy with me. So that's what a lot of this is for. My left side was this morning, so that's kind of where I can breathe and focus. Big fold over. Ooh, you can see my right hamstrings going, wow! And that is the one that often is tight because it's my right ankle that's got some funky stuff going on. Bending and straightening, working through it, dropping the head as you go down. Oh, look, there's my bum. Wiggling around. You know what? It's always weird for me as an instructor to watch yourself move and go, oh, that's me. How weird. That's me. Hi, me. There's nothing wrong with this sort of dynamic stretching. I'm working at a limit and a range where my body goes, yep, this is okay. I'm not at the end range of movement, so the tissues respond to that. It's not super fast, it's just an in and out, and I'm not a massive fan sometimes of static holds. I like doing the dynamic ones as I'm doing here, so the lunge down and up. I find my right thigh is tighter, so I'm lowering and going, yep, that's where the pull is, and I come out of it. I go into the pull and out of the pull. Static holds, for me, you'd have to do them every day, and I've got to be honest and say I'm just not that into it, which is why I tend to do a lot more of movement stuff. And you'll see sometimes at the end of this I do hold and I breathe into it. I'm always kind of doing something. Here I'm rocking through my toes. My left big toe doesn't always do a great push-off, so that helps with that. And then the knee going down in a moment gives me a stretch again through the thigh of that left leg. Much easier on this leg. My right one's just overworking. Oh, you know, we've all got stuff going on. It's just tuning into it. Let's just put it that way. Back into down dog, which I do love, or pike or inverted V, depending on what you want to call it. Heels up and down. There you can. Shaking is great. You'll see I have a little tremor later. So again, bending and straightening. I'm not bouncing at full range. I do want to make that really clear. I'm not at my full range of stretch and pulling my tissues further than their neutral zone. So I'm very cautious of doing this. So if you do try a little bounce, please be aware. I'm flicking my toes back there, trying to push through the big toe side, vital for running and walking. And I'm building my run back up again now, which feels good. Coming forward, coming back, opening up the chest. My lower back is a little bit flat. So this is why I tend to do a little bit of rocking and rolling around it and try to arch through my lower back, because that's what I don't do. I like sitting in a slump. Walking the legs in, you can kick them up, you don't have to. It's just walking them in, of course, as you walk in, you get a stronger stretch. And then forward and back a little bit, and then... I don't know how they do this. Ooh, not bad, actually. My hip is turning, that's why I can get there a little bit more. Can I also say I was so worried, see there, about my shorts and what I might or might not be showing. So please don't zoom in. That was a really random comment. I'm going to leave it in there though, because that's what goes through your mind. So this is the other thing with trainers, but this stuff, well, I don't know about any other trainer out there, but this goes through my mind. And I was a little bit aware of it, and I was like, don't put your butt too near the camera. Cat stretch and wiggles and rocks and rolls, a cat and a worm, whatever you want to call it. I think might have been jigging to the music. Rocking forward and back a little bit. And then, so cool to stretch one side. So it's a child's pose with your hands going to one side. And what that did is it really helped to get, like I said earlier, the side of my body was tight. So this helped it really get that stretch out of it. Excuse me. And then, this one is just heaven. It's a hero's pose quad stretch. Checking them on the camera. Frowny face, hey. But rocking back and forward, cool for my ankles, for the front of my ankles and my toes, which tend to flick up a lot. And if I'm pushing my knees down, drawing my belly in, tucking my tail, the quads were like, oh yeah, they loved it. Seriously, they really, really appreciate that stretch. Coming up into three-legged dog again. Bending and straightening the supporting leg, which now changes my stretch from lower down in the calf to higher up in the calf. Soleus to gastrocnemius. Again, good way, especially for running and cycling, which I used to do a lot of both. It just helps. Okay, turning into, I do this one a lot for myself because it's one that I'm not that good at. But then I have to define what is good. Good is where I'm at. I just really like it to get the opening of that straight leg and then the depth into the hip fold of the bent leg. Pulling my foot back there got a double thing, one through the hamstring of the straight leg and into the back as well. So you can sit in this, you'll see my heel is up. That's, again, how my ankle joint is right now. I have worked on it a bit at times and I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it when my ankles are free up, so I leave them be. Taking it over, holding that foot, pushing into the heel, dropping through the hips. Again, give it the hamstring stretch and the back stretch. Just feel anything that feels good, but not that you have to tune in and go, okay, body, is this enough? Is this all right? Or am I pushing too far? Wide leg fold here. Really cool to wiggle the hips, bend and straighten one knee, stick the bum in the air that little bit, but counteract with the heels pushing down and the little toe sides. Because what that did is give me this most amazing stretch down the side of my calves. Now, I feel it there. That doesn't mean that you feel it there. You know, reaching a bit more forward and lengthening. Oh, it just feels good. Wiggling the hips here feels good. We often don't... This is really good for men, by the way. If you can't touch the floor, put a block there or put your hands on a table. Please don't do it in public. People might wonder why. But you're just dropping down. Great for the back length. And again, that sort of decompression. Twisting it. See, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do here. So then I went, I'm going to lunge. Lunging twist, I love it. I love any time that I can move through my spine. So, you can see my right foot rocks up. So as I go back into the more split feeling, I open, I come down and drop. If you notice my lower back here, you'll see what I mean by it's a wee bit rounded. I try to work on it, and it's my skeleton. It is where it is. It's 48 years old. I'm not sure how else it's going to change. My main thing is that I don't have any issues particularly, and that I don't have a slip disc again. Which, if you've had one, I know it's not much fun. There are ways around it, so please do speak to someone. You can obviously also talk to me, and I will do my best to help. After I've done my lunge twist the other way, back into down dog. Ooh. Just down dog's such a cool move. Bending the knees, walking it out a little bit, deepens the stretch. Walking the hands in. Oh, standing splits sort of came next. So I do, when I flow, try to add balance moves into it, because they're good for us. It really is as simple as that. So down, how those people, those dancers do it, it just always, I'm in awe of them. So as you're going up, I did try to take my hands off the floor and keep the stretch going on. It's really good to rotate the pelvis around the supporting leg. That's why I like doing these things, because it gives us a different movement pattern, basically. And then, coming down on your back. Heels are in line with your bottom bones, which is 5-ish inches, 10 to 12 centimeters, depending on what measurements you work in. Stretch it out. So I love reaching out through the arms, through bridging. It really, you wiggle your shoulder blades away from your hips, basically. It gives more length in the back. You bridge up, push into the heels, drag them underneath your bum, take a breath. And then rolling down. As you roll down, if you think of pushing your bottom towards your heels and stretching the hands further away, again, it creates this length. Remember, our spine gets compressed a lot during life. Gravity is a big one for doing that. So the more we can let it go and decompress, the better for giving those discs that I can breathe moment. We have outside our house, it's not an archway, but I'll leave it at that I can put my hands on. It's a bit too big to put my hands all the way around, but at least I can hang, which allows my shoulder blades to go right up and lets my sacrum and my pelvis drop down. And oh God, I swear I'm 6 foot tall inside this body. So here, heels go up. And then if you watch, this is what happened. I slowly let my heels go down and just start to watch. My left leg really got something funky going on today. Which, if you ever want to look into something, there's something called TRE, or tension release exercises. Great method for releasing tension in the body, which is what animals do. If you watch an animal that's just been attacked, it will go into freeze mode, pretending it's dead, although it may not be. And then when it comes out, it does this huge tremor, just to release all the stress and all the tension. And my left leg often gets attention because, as I said before, it was one that my disc kind of got a bit funky with. And you'll see it there shaking. And I was cool with it. I'm like, all right. Right one was like, yeah, I'm quite cool today. The left one went, whoa, funky stuff. I just let it shake because to me it was a way of getting any tension that might be in that leg to release. That's all I wanted it to. I wanted my left leg to go, you know what? It's all good. It's all okay. Why it was happening, I don't know. Maybe yesterday running was a bit too much for it. It could be so many different things. And that's what it is. Your body is what it is, and tuning in and becoming aware, obviously, the more we can do that, the better. Then I went into a little bit of core work. So I am straight away pulling 2 legs up. Okay? So pulling 2 legs up basically is a little bit more challenging. If that is too much, please go into just 1 leg only. Watch the other videos on Pilates for this, but as I said, this is my workout, not an instructional video for you. And I use my hands a lot for myself to kind of feel my ribs and hips staying long and my pelvis still. Reaching my arms up and over again as I move through was a different type of challenge because the center of gravity is shifting when we move things around. Core, I'm aiming to keep my spine still. If I'm not careful, I push my spine into the floor. So I just go, okay, I don't need that. A little bit of a roll up, hands behind your knees. You lift, and again, so much of my work when I'm slow like this is focusing on where am I at in space. So I float up through the head, putting the feet down, and what did I do? Oh, bit of twists and turns. I like these. So it was a bit of an addition to the bridge. So as I lifted, I pushed through the heels, the same sort of bridging feeling, but now obviously you get more through the arm. And why I like this was here I could pull myself into a rotation, and then as I reached, I got this great stretch from my right knee all the way through my arm. Head was just heavy, to be honest. That's all. I just let my head hang. No. And then reaching up, reaching over, pushing through the hand, and then coming down. And it's a little bit of arm strength, arm opening. It's just exploration, really is. When I put my hand behind my head, what I thought instead was I was reaching through my elbow. So my elbow pushed away from me, which gave a different stretch sensation. So if you ever do anything like this with your arm in the air, try it. That was a bit of a twist, stretch and hold. This was the tighter side, the left side. So I reached up, reached over. Keep pressure into your big toes here. As well, it's a little bit more grounding through the feet. Push against the leg to get the twist, open up. If you liked the option of hand behind your head, really good one for men, by the way, then please take it. Do that one because it's what you want. But then also try with the arms straight. There is really and truly no right or necessarily wrong way. What I always tried to do is say, just notice where things are, notice the alignment of your body, notice what it feels, and ask your body if something feels a bit wrong, then pull back, because that's not where you want to go. There are times where your body's like, oh, and it can be a good, not necessarily a bad one. So yeah, try to just really notice where your body's at. This move is just a funky move to me. Pushing forward, right over onto the toes, rolling the shoulders back. So I did a lot of focus on this part, really opening up, pushing the heads of my arms back, not letting my head drop because I didn't want to just let my neck go out of control. But it really opened up through my chest, through the thighs, back of the legs. You could keep your heels flat down when you came up. And then just to reach forward. 2 ways to do this, just as a bit of a teaching tip. You can hold your feet and pull and drop your body all the way down, or you can roll back against it. One is more hamstring stretch, one is a little bit more back and upper back stretch. I'm starting to somewhere in the middle. Taking it over onto one foot only and pulling. Lifting that leg a bit because I feel that my hamstrings need a little bit more release, especially if I do a lot of thigh stretching. Balance out with hamstring stretching. So if you do a lot of hamstring stretching, do also make sure you balance it with thigh stretching too. That's what we're often looking for, is balance in the body. And we can get a bit too caught up in stretching one thing because it feels good. Bit of balance there. Gentle scoop down. And I kept my head up when I did these single leg circles, so they weren't particularly big. See what I mean about my shorts? Support leg is down. Now, when I circle my leg, with my body up, I can see my hips and see my abdominals. So it's not a big leg circle, okay? All it is big enough that I get some hip joint centering and my core on. And this for me is super important on my hips because I get clunks. I just do. So I do this because it kind of tries to solidify where the center of the joint is. So by keeping my pelvis still, I'm really working the deep little muscles of the hip joint. And it's tiring, to be honest with you. It's tiring on the core and it's tiring on the hip joint, which, again, depends on what your posture is. I think this is a great move for everybody anyway. For those of us who stand with the hips pushed a bit forward and hanging off the joint, as we call it, this one is really good, which is why I do it for my body. So say this workout is very much for my body. Especially because I'm trying to pull back from a few little niggles and get my run back up. So anything that I can do to help my body to be able to run seriously good again, or just good, just to run, would be nice. Reaching up, lifting, heels reach waist, see my toes? And I'm like, focus on the toes, Lisa. Leaning back, different way to get the abdominals on. So you still got to draw in, not let the ribs flare, Lisa. And then roll down, roll up, roll over. Again, please, if you have blood pressure issues or neck issues, please don't do this one. The weight is more in the upper body, not too much in the hands. I'm trying. Now, I am really just focusing on the leg moving away. So in this case, my left leg, to open up the hip. It's super easy, and that's why I bend the knee as well. It's really easy to let the leg drop to your face. It kind of goes there. But when the other leg goes the other way, that's where it's more challenging to hold yourself as well, which is why I do it. So like I say, great hip opening. Upside down is also good for the body, challenges you in different ways. And then whee! You don't have to do that. You can take your hands and roll back down. See, so careful with those shorts. I'm sorry if anything untoward happened. I'm pretty sure it didn't. From there, that felt good. Coming whee up in the slow roll to lift and into a half straddle. I love half straddle because I can get to feel pretty. Side bend over again. Hand could go behind your head again there. Turning that way, give me that amazing stretch down my left back. Left butt stays heavy. Turn and open gives you the side stretch. And then whee, flicking the other way. With this one, if you ever want to do this in your chair, feel free to. You don't obviously have to split your legs like this. Feet on the floor and just turn. Twist. You could hold on to the diagonal on your desk or something. Hips stay heavy. Really cool way to do this. Now the next one again is a personal strength thing for me. So it was wide legs, and it wasn't just about stretching here. This was about strength and control. So as I was coming forward, I was actually having to hold myself, which really, I just want to collapse here, if I'm honest with you. But to control was a lot of work through my back muscles, through my inner thigh muscles, which to be honest is why I do it. up and over into the stretch there again, just like I say, because it feels really good. And then you'll see I suddenly kind of get up in a minute because the music, I think, went on to some advert. I had, like I say, I had music on in the background. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Yep, there I go. Wait one sec. Oh, and also I was checking how long I'd been going for. So I moved it down. I don't always use music. Every now and again I do like it. Yeah, see, there you go. There's music. So from here, but rolling. Oh, single straight leg stretch. So I changed my hand position here. So if you know Pilates, the hand is normally the other way around. But I decided to change it because it gave me a different push-pull. So I was actually using my hands to work on my leg alignment, not just to hold myself up, which was quite cool. They say your hands could be this way, on top. Any move that you know, try something different. If any trainers are watching this, same. It's super easy, I think, to get stuck in a rut. Which is why it's really good to watch the amount of different stuff that's out there and try things on your own body. Manuals are awesome. If anyone did education with me, you'll know I think the manuals are a start, but they're not the be all and end all. Now, 2 legs going down, you could breathe in, breathe out, or do a mixture of the two. I focus more on my upper body, believe it or not. I really kind of lift my elbows to the ceiling, use my hands gently on my head to keep a slight pivot, and think up. Again, it's an easy place where you drop your body down and go, but it's like my elbows were being pulled up by some birds towards the ceiling. As the legs go down again, I could see whether or not my stomach was going boing. Roll up, roll up, roll up, my favourite. Oh, wiggle on your bum. Spine stretch this time. So my legs are together and I'm rounding my back over. I'm not going into a hamstring stretch particularly. This is why I said different ways to do it. This way, because I'm pulling against my feet, I get to round the upper back, which gives the really cool stretch between the shoulder blades, which can often get a bit sticky. And then stacking the spine up. Shoulder rolls around. Now this was kind of funky and made up on the spot. So it's like a seated twist with the legs, but what I did is I lifted. And while I lifted, it was kind of a big stretch again through the top side, but then I could twist straight into seated twist. So I got spine stretch on the side, spine stretch in the twist, up and open, working through the hip again. There's so much stuff going on. And this is what I do when I train. It's like, oh, what if I do this? And how do I do that? And what does that feel like? This felt good again. Because I just moved into this and sat back, that right side of my back all the way down to the hips, got a really, really, really beautiful stretch. Really, really cool. And this was one of my targets to move today, is to open myself out a little bit more. Because I'm sitting too much. When I'm drawing, I'm sitting. Even now, I'm sitting. So I should move while I'm talking. Changing onto the other side. So the left foot came over that right knee a little bit. You lifted, push the hips forward again, an open hip stretch too. Coming back down, holding on, twisting. Your head could go down, up. I think I changed my head position at one point. Because it just feels, there you go. Your body can change depending on where your head is. So when you start to explore the 3-dimensionality of the space around you, so you'll start to get different sensations in your body, and you know when you've got an itch and you just can't get to scratch it. Sometimes that's what movement can do. You move around until you go, oh yeah, got it. If you have any issues and injuries, obviously please be careful being random in your movement. Take care of yourself. But if you're already quite a experienced mover, oh man, play with it. It's really great. And if you like music, put the beat on, flow with that a bit. Just play. Play can be different. It can also be the sort of fun play that I've sometimes done with crawling and ball throwing and jumps and stuff like that. Or it can just be exploration and play of the body, which is what I'm doing right now. Ooh, from there. So from the down dog, I then decided to come through into a plank. I've got my legs wide because I wanted a nice base. Did a side twist here. And again, look where my hand is. It's kind of round and behind my head, which can give me a little bit of gentle traction, opening out to the side. Again, big stretch around the ribs. I'm really sorry, I'd like to say right now, I am aware I keep saying again. I am doing my best not to. From there, hand behind the head, open the chest, push through the feet, rotation, reaching that elbow to the floor, give me that huge stretch down left side of my back. That really was a big focus as I watched this. Oh, and again, see, if it feels good one side, do it again. I'm allowed to say it that time. Down dog. Oh, yay. Wild thing. So I went slowly as I turned here. So as I came around, the foot went, I pushed, I lifted and reached. Reach is from the right fingers to the right knee here. The head can drop back a little bit. Opening, flipping yourself slowly back and over. To then control supporting around the right leg to open, lift, reach. No, that necklace got in the way. My hair gets caught later. Might still even be some hair in my necklace. But I like wearing it. From there, coming back into your down dog. Flicking the feet, wiggling it out. Anytime, just wiggle. Wiggles are good. Then forward. This was kind of like a bit of animal thing every now and again. So dolphin, rocking forward and back. Love this because the shoulders move. Really, really, really do love dolphin on here. Great shoulder movement, hamstring stretch. Brilliant for starting to build up forearm planks as well. And if you're going into the full kick dolphin, obviously this is a good prep for it. I'm not, but oh yeah, my necklace bit's coming up. But from there I walked in, frog hopped. There it is. And I didn't mind doing my necklace here simply because I was sitting in the squat, and this is not my favourite squat. My heels stay up, I'm balance challenged. It's like toilet squat when I lived in Asia never worked for me particularly well unless I had high heels on, which I don't wear very often. So eventually I got that free, and it gave me the opportunity to go, what shall I do next? See the balance, pretty cool, hey? So I decided to then go into crow pose. It's like, come on, right then, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Lisa? Crow. Hands came down, and I lifted up, knees up high in there. She can do it, she can do it, she can do it today. Ta-da! Oh, it takes a lot of effort to do that, I tell you. It really does. It makes me feel good when I do. Chilling out once you've done it. The big yoga practitioners, they amaze me. I moved because I was realising I was getting more and more in the shade. I take my hat off to people who can do that, jump backs and this, that and the other. If that's your goal, go for it. For me, like I say, it's placed. I got loads of other things to explore. Yeah, and that's kind of how I personally like to move. Music stopped. I kept getting some weird adverts, and I was like, one started coming on about funeral plans. I'm like, this is not what I want to listen to. So, on to the hands and knees. I think I got a few bites while I was doing this as well. This was a bit of a funky twist that I decided to do. So the left leg stretched out, and my brain honestly is going, what shall I do? Oh, I know. If I put my left leg down a little bit behind my right, so diagonal, and then rotate, it gave me a really different stretch, release, twist. And then like thread the needle, the normal twists came under, the leg being there more challenging, but my butt got this stretch, which was like, ooh, I like that. Whew. And then, of course, do it one side, ideally do it the other, but tune into which side feels it needed it more. That's what I'm always at. It's like, and if I had ever trained you or if I ever do in the future, I'm always curious, what does your body feel? What does this side tell you? What does it want? Where are we going next? Because I'm not you, so I, as a trainer and a coach, have to rely on what you tell me, and I take you where we both feel is the right place for you to go. From there, oh yeah. So please, if you've never done a headstand before, don't do it. Go back into dolphin and just hold. If you can do headstands, take your time. Go closer to a wall. Neck issues, again, please don't do it. Like I say, this is my practice, and I felt the need to do a headstand, so I did. It took me a super long time to build to lift my legs up. My lower back, as I say, is a bit rounded, and every now and again it's grumpy and it doesn't want to do it. But there's this huge lift up through the shoulders, and it is a beautiful move. Not just going upside down, so holding dolphin or down dog is perfectly fine. Big control on you come down. You'll see I have a moment of wobble. So even coming down is a great, there you go, challenge. For me and my lower back, you can see where you may see where I tuck. From there, please just be cautious when you come straight out of a headstand or any inversion. There I'm just going into a fold. A little bit of a twist helps to come out of things like that as well. Don't do it if you're worried about your neck. Honestly, a headstand's not worth it. They're great and I love them. If my neck ever doesn't feel happy, I don't do them. And sometimes that might be the case, different compression on different days. A little bit of a twist coming up now. Glorious twists, love twists. Eagle legs, otherwise just cross one leg over the other. My right leg is on top, I drop my legs to the left, and I use my hands to kind of persuade my body into a reach. You could also reach the other arm up and overhead. Just feels beautiful. Nice one to do when you get up, by the way, or as you're getting up and you're lying in bed. If you just do this and then whee, switch them the other way. I always feel like Kenny Everett. If you know Kenny Everett, you're similar to my age and probably British. From there, I felt my shoulder was tighter, which is why I put my right hand on my shoulder to try and encourage that left shoulder down, and then on my hip to encourage the reach through there. Hiya. So glorious. Roll up. Then I was like, okay, deep squat, keep the heels down, walk in. Every now and again I look to check I'm still in view, by the way. From there, ready? Heels are up, look, fold over, get those toes down. What did I have in my mouth? Oh, hair stuff on my necklace. From here I went into some balance. I always like to include some balance stuff as well. I've had little issues with both legs, so standing and bringing it all together is really, really good. Shake it out. Okay, tree pose. Who doesn't love a tree? If your leg doesn't come this high, please place it lower, just not against the knee. And I play with, so hips level, and then I play with my arms. I went out wide, I could go up. Nothing wrong, nothing right. As soon as you start swaying your arms around, you start wobbling, which is super good for the supporting foot. Great poses as well to focus on nothing. Nothing. I say swaying here is a bit more challenging. My foot was going, what is she? Where's she going today? What's she doing? Why is she doing this? Breath, slow, allowing your body just to go where it goes. This is my graceful moment as well. So slow motion. This is not slow motion. This is how slow I was going. Reaching down to the ground to come into, I don't know if it's a full half moon, to be honest. I balanced on one leg and reached overhead. Top leg was bent for a while, opened up my hip, and then gently stretched it. So I took that long line. That's my skipping rep, by the way. I do jump rep every now and again. Taking it down, and then it's like, where's the foot? Beautiful hip opener with balance. Stretches out the right leg through the hamstring, stretches out the left leg through the thigh, and then here's the control. My right hip, or if you're doing this, your right hip will have to work hard to bring you up back to balance. I didn't touch the floor. And this is a weakness of mine, stretching that leg forward. That's why I do some of those leg circles I did on my back to try to bring the strength into the hip to lift my leg up like that. Coming into the other side. I was staring at the orchards going, come on. See, my arms went a bit higher this side. Interesting. What it is, the hips here want to be as level as possible and straightforward. By the way, that gives you good pelvis alignment. Here's the tree in the breeze. Ooh, I think that was a wobble. Wobble on my left leg makes me kind of flick in my face. I think my eyes are open. A lot of the time I do shut my eyes, not so much in balance, that's an extra challenge, but especially when I do things on the ground. It can help you to tune in, so please obviously feel free to try that. Slow motion down, so a lot of control through the supporting leg. Finding the ground gently, opening out. Top leg was bent to begin with, and then it slowly stretched. Did I take my arm overhead this side? No, it doesn't look like I did. Coming down, turning a wee bit. Left arm comes up, finds the foot. And remember, this is a big lift and length through the supporting leg, heel down, hip up, and then opening out through the right quad. Again, in my case, a bit tighter on that side. Taking it gently, gently, gently to come up. Lift, leg goes forward. You go, okay, wow, got it. Stepping out, I think as I was balancing her, this was the funeral advert. I'm like, okay, I have to turn that advert off. Triangle pose, love triangle. Okay, hips, so I do this. This is not just because of the video. Putting my hands on my ribs to keep my body long and not go into a side stretch. There's this really cool fold over the right hip joint, which stretches the right groin. And then I do start to take my arm overhead, which gave me the side stretch that I was after a lot as well. And this is where I hold a little bit, but I'm constantly focusing on reaching, pushing, contrast, opposition. Not my favourite, this reverse. My hamstrings and pelvis go, yeah, why do I want to do this? Because it does feel good, and my reverse triangle is my reverse triangle. So I'm opening it out. I'm doing my best to push my butt back and do all the things I know I'm meant to, but my body goes, So from there, hips go over, hands on the pelvis or hands on the ribs, give me a sense of where I was moving from, reaching, lengthening. There's a little bit of weight in my supporting arm, but not masses. Beautiful sunny day. Taking the arms overhead. I'm in Spain, by the way, if you're wondering. That's why it's so beautiful. This is my parents' back garden. It's where I've been since lockdown happened, because my plans all changed like many of us. In years to come, I'll be watching this going, what was I talking about? Opening out, reverse triangle. See, I've got to bend and straighten that leg. Left leg pushes back. I could have brought my legs closer because I'm not staying there too long. I didn't. And then coming into a wide leg squat. Wide leg much easier on the calves and hamstrings. Pushing the knees out a little bit. There's a kind of push-pull. Taking a moment to wiggle. Flicking the hands. Don't know. Sometimes you just got to go with it. And then hands go down. Body folds forward. And pulling myself down a little bit more into a deeper stretch. So beautiful just to be able to explore. See where you want to go each day, basically, because every day you do feel different and you have different needs. Some days you don't want to work hard or as hard, and that's great. So much is about, I personally believe, what helps us feel good. Eyeballing myself there, look. Extension. So this is really for my lower back to try to get a little bit more lordosis in it. Checking the time, I'm like, how much longer shall I babble for? Oh, and music stopped. Hands into sort of a goal postish type thing. Pressing down in the shoulders, lifting. Great for back strength. Oh, it's getting bitten. Sorry. I wondered what I was doing then too. So back strength, back mobility as well. We tend to do a lot of flexion in a lot of exercises. So this is to balance that workout. Okay. So from there, for me, I know I need to keep my back strong, which is why I need to take my hands off the floor. Maybe you don't. Maybe you need more mobility. Trainer, that's where trainers are really, really useful to help you understand what your body needs are. For me, because I used to sit in a very rounded back strength is important to me because my back can get a bit like sleepy. Pulling my feet to my bum, I got a thigh thing going on there, so that really helped me open up through my quads. Again, in a different way. Different relationships to gravity, different positions help different muscles stretch, so that's why three-dimensionality is really, really cool. Up and opening here, lifting through the chest, and I played with letting my hips drop. Now this is going to be a bit weird. If you watch, I'm rocking on my toes, which gives the calves a different feeling of movement. And rocking's cool. You know, your mum used to rock you, maybe, as when you're a baby to go to sleep, or you pick up a doll, you pick up an animal, and something's not feeling good, you rock it. So it's a really beautiful rhythm the body loves. From there, I think this used to be called scorpion at one point. It wasn't very well liked. I'm turning my whole body with it, though. I'm not keeping my chest down on the ground. So as I moved one arm, if my right leg was moving, my right leg stretched out, and see my whole body turns, which gave me a stretch down through my right hip. I lifted my head. It felt better that side to lift my head, maybe because that is my tighter side. This time as I changed, I got a quad stretch again. So I bent my back, my bottom leg, and if you check what I do in my bottom foot, it comes, go on, put it on top. I know I did this. put my foot on top, which meant I can give myself a little bit of traction here. Music. I put on a random chill out mix and I didn't realise it had adverts, so that is a lesson to myself. It's a good job I'm not using it on this video. Eagle eyes will notice here, look, the difference in that right thigh. Something I have to continually work on. For me, maybe your left is tighter, maybe they're both the same, maybe something else. The quest is just, like I say, please tune in to where your body's at. Oh, that felt so good to take my arm overhead. See how I held and I just did a bit of wiggling? Look, my foot's moving. It's just like, what can I do with this to help my body open up a little bit more? That's honestly all it is what does my body need right now? So my body went, yeah, could you lie down? Oh, flicking out. So I came on down. Honestly, that's what it felt like doing. This is what I mean. This was not an instructional thing. This was a, what do I want to do? Just move. I bruised my leg. I don't think you can see my right knee. I was like, why is my muscle swollen? I bruised it. There, no idea how. Hello. All right, arms overhead. 2 legs drop one way. 2 legs the other. Just a gentle kind of flip. Tick, tock, tick. You could hold, straighten the leg. I did open leg together. It really was just to relax. And then that was it. So you can stop this at any moment now because it's the end of my movement stuff. If you watched it, you could sort of maybe follow along. I say not masses of instruction, but just an idea of different things that you could do when you move for yourself. And then I just went, oh, you know what? Yay. Just a few breaths for me here. Just to lie, let my body absorb stuff that I'd done. Meditation of a form to clear my mind. Meditation, I feel, has... it can conjure up things that don't necessarily invite you to do it. So really, this was just resting. I just lay there and just let my body be more than anything. Focus on the breath, just letting things just sink and settle. You can stay here for a little bit longer. Feel free to let your thoughts come and go, notice them, and then go, there's a thought. Okay. I had to get on with things and do this voiceover, because if I don't do a voiceover not long after I've done the video, I completely forget what to say. So I checked out my bruise and went, oh, I bruised myself. And then I just went for a little walk. I got up and I just moved around. Especially after a relatively big stretch like that. It was more just to go, okay, where am I at? Bring myself in to an upright position. Shake it out. I love doing this, by the way. Look at those legs. Just be kind to yourself. That's it. Here's my dance feet. Look. Da, 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 da. You got to laugh at me. Come on. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. It's given you some inspiration to do some new stuff. Take it easy. Bye.